Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Doc of Detox show. And this is Friday's DocTalk Q&A. And with me, these handsome gentlemen. Okay, we've got David here, who's with his father, and they're here for personal treatment and training. And they're going to be here for about 10 days, right?
That's correct. Yep.
And it's the day 5. And we've got Bill. And Bill, believe it or not, you're from around Atlanta, Georgia, right?
Marietta.
And
long drive.
A long drive, that's right. All the way up that hill, right?
Right.
Anyway, so they're going to be talking to us today as well when we're doing the Q&A, because you know what? We had Renee here when I did my Q&A last time, and now we've got these two gentlemen with, like I said, David's doing the personal treatment and training with his father, and Bill, you've been on our protocol long distance, like 98% of all our patients, we will clients, we will do consultations on them, and they'll never ever see us. But Bill decided to what?
I've been participating in Doc of Detox since a little over a year now, and I was coming up to Seattle to visit my cousin for Christmas, so I figured I wanted to meet Darrell and Laurie and see the rest of the crew.
And lovely to have you, man.
It's great to be here.
Lovely to have you. Okay. All right. So just before we start, I just want to say a couple of things. Tomorrow, we're going to be releasing the Holy Grail of Healing. And that is a 2-hour and 40-minute video. Don't have to bite it off in one time. It's going to be on Facebook, YouTube, Doc of Detox show. And it's going to be telling you and not telling you, but teaching you and training you everything you need to know about the abdominal cavity, the abdominal area, and also the pelvis. And that is the Holy Grail. That is the core. And that's what's falling on the floor with 99% of the population. Either people are sticking out and it looks like they've got a beach ball in there that you'd like to just take a little pin and prick it and watch them fly around the room, or their intestines are falling down and out over their belt. Okay, and that means their immune system is falling down and out. So we're going to teach you some exercises. We're going to teach you some techniques to get it back up, to bring your immune system back up. And then what we're going to do is Monday, at 3 o'clock, we're going to release a sampler preview, okay, of our A to Z Wellness Masterclass, which has 40 videos. It's 12 hours long. The first 1,000 people that sign in midnight New Year's Eve, okay, they will be getting it free, a lifetime membership. And I will be going in there and adding something every month that is going to teach you from going from a patient to your own personal practitioner to heal yourself so that you can become the light for your family. Jason, how about taking it away, and we'll start with the first question.
All right, let's get started. I just want to say thanks to Dave and Bill for joining us today. All right, we have Rick from Winnipeg. Can you explain the treatment and self-care process for hearing loss?
Okay, so Rick, hearing loss. All right, so when we're dealing with hearing loss, you have to understand, did anybody notice that everybody's losing their eyesight and everybody's losing their hearing?
Yep.
Okay, all right, and that's because we've become an inflammation nation. The more inflammation you have, the lower your pH is going to be, the more acidic you're going to be, the more scar tissue you're going to have. And believe it or not, you're creating all this scar tissue around the ear and on the inner ear. And when you start creating just fine little microbes of scar tissue crystallization and have inflammation in there, it doesn't vibrate properly. The sound comes in, but the vibration can't be picked up. Because actually, when I'm talking, the ear doesn't pick up sound, it picks up a frequency. And that frequency then gets translated into sound. Mm-hmm. So the frequency cannot be picked up because the vibration doesn't happen anymore. So understand something. Grandpa's as stiff as a board. My back is stiff. My knees are stiff, right?
Right.
Well, at different parts of your body are going to become stiff. We can call it arthritis. We can call it a tumor. It's all about scar tissue. It's all about crystallization and displaced calcium, because wherever there's inflammation, you will actually be drawing from the area around the inflammation. You'll be drawing calcium to that area to buffer down the inflammation. Because without calcium going into the area, what happens is it brings the pH down. Brings the pH up, right? Because calcium has an alkalining pH. The scar tissue is to wall off the inflammation from spreading, and the crystallization is actually caused because of the inflammatory composition to the fluid, whether it be your blood, your lymph, intercellular or extracellular fluid, glicky sticky. And we could look at that glicky sticky and we could talk about what comes out of our nose, what's in our eyes, the earwax that comes out of our ears, the mucus that comes out of our bowels. This is all caused from a glicky sticky diet and terrorizing ourselves and dripping adrenaline and cortisol into the body on a continual basis. Because if you could master fear, then you would master being in a peaceful state. And that's why nobody's in a peaceful state anymore, because the media, the government, we're all. And so what do this have to do with hearing? Everything. It's all about inflammation. Now, let's talk about hearing and the reason why we need to take action. Well, first of all, people will call up and say, what can I do for my hearing? And I'll tell them, what you can do is you can lay on your side and you can take silver bullet liquid, put a pool of it in your ear, okay? And once you get it in there, you want to grab the ear and you want to go around and round like this. If you can't hear properly and you were to go around your ear like this, you would hear a crunching and a cracking in there. Mm-hmm. That's the scar tissue, the crystallization, and the calcification. And you can hear it with your joints anywhere throughout your body, your neck. When you've got a stiff neck, you hear the cracking. Yeah. Well, you're going to hear that same cracking in your ear, okay? So we're going to take the silver bullet. We're going to lay on our side. We're going to fill it up with a pool of silver bullet liquid. Now, what does silver bullet do? Well, silver bullet liquid helps to create an environment that fungus, viruses, and bacteria can't live in. So by neutralizing the area and suffocating them, they're not going to create the inflammation, irritation within the ear. So what you can do, if you had a bioptron light, you could actually put a pool of the silver in and then shine the light for 10, 15 minutes, because light is the key, even it shining in the ear. After you did that, 10, 15 minutes, you can drain it. Then you can also, you don't have to do it right away, but then you want to use the Bright Eyes Fulvic Nano eye drops, which is clear. It goes in and it encapsulates, okay, acidity, heavy metals, any type of viral bacteria, but it'll encapsulate it. And then when you go to actually drain the ear, and you'll do the same thing, you'll do the rotation 5 times clockwise, 5 times counterclockwise, and if you don't have a bioptron light, put a hot, wet pack on the ear for about 10, 15 minutes to bring the circulation into there. Now, if I had an ear problem, which I did all the flying, and also I wouldn't say, okay, I'm not stressed out, but do I live a stressful life? Yes, I love it. It excites me, long as you stay connected to your breath. But I noticed that when I was flying a lot, I started getting a buzzing in my ear. So I did this. I started doing exactly what I said. But do you know what else I did, Bill?
What?
I did the clapping. Now, when you start doing this, you'll hear the ringing in your ear even more. So go to the front, go to the back, go underneath the jaw, in the neck, go above, and then you can go like this and just keep your hand cupped a little bit. And believe it or not, it may start even ringing more with those who have ringing, trying to get rid of tinnitus. But if you have a hearing problem, you won't get that ringing. But then when it starts to heal itself, you might get the ringing because things are coming back.
10, 15 minutes?
I would do it 10, 15 minutes, yeah, but I would do it every day. I would do the protocol that I just did every day. But here's the ticket. If a person were to come here and do a personal treatment training like your father,
right,
like you learning how to do your father ear, you do his ear.
Yes. Yeah.
What you're doing, that's the ticket. But if you can't do that, then if somebody comes here, I could spend 40 minutes just on one ear, 45 minutes, not kidding, just pulling everything apart. See this here, please don't get me wrong. Don't be offended by this, but this is called the FU point. I'll let you fill out the words. Okay, now.
I might need some help.
Yeah. Funny umbrella. Now, and the reason why, this is where we hold anger. Now you're going to say, that's not true. Yeah, you can become so angry. You make me so mad. I don't know why. You know, so this here gets really stressed out. You can actually freeze your vagus nerve and stay in a sympathetic state. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because your vagus nerve comes right out here and comes down here. And people that have stiff necks here, they're always in fight or flight. And that stressed neck was caused because you were stressed all the time and you ran a program and you shut your vagus nerve down. But here's the deal. This crystallizes and this gets scar tissue. This gets calcified. But guess what? In here, people will feel a knot and they'll feel it really tight. In here, if it gets tight, the scar tissue in here actually grows little tails that come right up into the ear. I can actually come in from the cheekbone and feel scar tissue going in. I can feel it coming up from the TMJ area in. And then when we go to work on the ear, can you turn your ear to the... So what we do, we'll do the elbow 2 inches, about 2 inches all around the ear like this first, okay? And circle it, right? And go underneath the jawbone and unloosen that tightness in here. And then we're going to go right here where this little, see this right where you go in? Well, I'm going to put my elbow right here and start working all these directions. And I'm going to tell you something. You know what he's going to say? Oh my gosh, you've got your elbow right inside my ear canal. And I don't. And I'm not even in it. But he's going to feel it because we get a lot of tension and scar tissue in here. And that scar tissue wraps around the inner ear. And that's what's causing the tinnitus. That's what's causing the loss of hearing. I'm going to tell you something right now. And you can believe it or not believe it, but there's not a person out there that has gradually lost their hearing that can't get their hearing back. Are you willing to get rid of an inflammatory diet? Are you willing to find peace in your life and to put a smile on your face and to bring up your vibration? Are you willing to stop drinking alcohol? Are you willing to stop doing sugar, flour, and dairy products and canola oil and things of that nature? All of this adds up to the irritation, to the inflammation, to the scar tissue formation, to the decalcification of your bones, okay, to the crystallization. And that's it. So I don't care what age you are. Like you know as well as I do. How do you feel compared to when you started with us?
It's night and day. I mean, the other day I went to go to the healing station at church, and as I was walking up, I said, well, I don't have anything that's wrong with me right now. So I just bypassed the station. In a year, my life has been changed dramatically. And it's all just dealing with a little bit of pain. And when I say a little bit of pain, when you're being worked on, it hurts. But once the process is over or the session is over, you feel great.
Yeah, and you get your strength back.
Yeah.
You get your elasticity back. You get your range of motion back. You feel lighter. You don't feel like you're imprisoned. How does it feel to be imprisoned in your body, guys?
Oh, terrible.
Well, I was looking at having rotator cuff surgery, and he told me, your rotator cuff's nothing but scar tissue. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, go see Dean. And I went and saw Dean, and he started working.
That's Dean Saleo of Saleo Wellness out of Atlanta.
And the lipoma had no rotator cuff surgery whatsoever, and I can do whatever I want.
Wow.
Yeah,
and this didn't take a year. This took maybe 6 to 8 sessions at the most. So I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Not pretty amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
And guess what? Surgery creates more scar tissue than any other thing that you can do in your life. So for every time you get every time you get surgery, you're going to have more scar tissue. Ask any woman that's had a cesarean, okay? She's got 2 to 3 inch actual roots coming off the scar of the cesarean, wrapping around her bladder, wrapping around her uterus, her fallopian tubes. How would you like to not be able to poop again or try to make love to your husband, and you're just so jammed up and down here because of being cut open maybe once, twice, 3 times in that same place? I mean, at least they could do is just put a zipper there, make it easier. But the reality is, when it comes to your hearing, you can get it back. But the thing is you said something this morning when you said to me, you said, Darrell, it's discipline. Say what you said to me.
if you examine history, all the men and women that have been successful have been disciplined in whatever field they chose to. And with the Doc of Detox, it's just you have to be disciplined with food, and you have to be disciplined with deep tissue massage, and within a very short period of time, you'll start to see results. And if you just stay with it, you'll see it.
Yeah, and the reality is people don't believe this, but until you love yourself enough, you're not going to do anything. If you're running a self-hate program, then there's no way you're going to allow this to happen. You'll undermine yourself. I mean, how many times did you kind of go, I'm going to do this, but it didn't take long for you to fall off the log?
Oh, all the time. I went to I don't know how many different doctors, medical care practitioners prior to coming here, and it was nobody was able to help.
Good, Bill.
And I'd get some relief on certain symptoms, but when I came here, I was at the end of my rope, and seeing Darrell and everybody else that's been treating me and helping me here. In the span, this is my 5th day here now, and in the span of 5, when I first got here, I was a mess. My stomach, my gut, my head, I couldn't think, depressed, quite depressed.
How long was that going on for, though, in your life?
Decades.
Too long.
Much too long. And I just didn't, I thought this was the way life was going to be. And upon arriving here, I think as Bill said, it's tough, but the discipline, you almost learn the discipline along the way, because if you don't do it, nothing's going to happen. But it's not that hard. And the results come amazingly quickly. That's the one other thing I'm quite astounded about, is that in the span of 5 days, I woke up this morning with a smile on my face. I had little discomfort in my stomach. My head was a little clearer. My back was better. I wish that I had known about this a long time ago, but I'm so glad that I'm here now.
Well, Dave's scenario is a fabulous scenario, but what I am saying, though, if you stick with the Doc of Detox over a period of time, you will get the results. And what happened for me was I started with my shoulder, and now I'm working on the bunions on my feet. I'm working on my left knee. I've gotten rid of the scar tissue in my left calf and my left thigh. I mean, I had these huge knots in there. I've had sciatica issues I've dealt with. I've had a oblique tear that I've dealt with. And, I mean, I'm almost a new body, and I'm 65, about to be 66.
Amazing. So we just got a live question. My son is in college and is not able to make the daily cleansing tea. Is it okay to use the daily cleansing caps instead? Yeah, it is. But the daily cleansing caps work on the bowel, where the daily cleansing tea, it works on the lymph, the kidneys, the blood, the lungs, the liver, and the colon. So that's the difference. So the daily cleansing tea is a special product, no laxative, no stimulants. There's no laxative stimulants in the caps either. And yes, he can use it. But as he grows, if you knew what your son was eating and drinking, you'd know that, when you go to college, that's when you destroy your gut. That's when you destroy your digestive tract. Anyways, it's very rare to find someone that's really loving and respecting themselves in college, because that's where you lose yourself. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, so that's great. Anyway, so back to the hearing. And the other thing is, you've also got to be willing to hear what people need to say. There's emotional attachment to everything. And you will find that most people that lose their hearing, they're just not willing to hear anymore. Okay, and that's not saying that everybody's going to lose their hearing that doesn't want to hear their wife or their husband anymore. And that's not saying that it's only that. It's just, it's called whole body healing. Jason?
All right, thank you, Darrell. Next up, we have Kelly from YouTube. My daughter at 14 had scoliosis, 14-degree curve. and had been monitored by a surgeon. I learned a massage technique and quantum touch energy healing. Worked on her for a year, and she went to barely a 3-degree curve. The surgeon had only wanted to put rods in her back.
It's you know what? Everything is about personal action, like Bill said. Discipline translate into personal self-care, self-love, and from the minute you wake up until you go to bed, you have to, at the very beginning when you start this, you have to get that little mini you, and you've got to monitor what you think, what you drink, what you eat, what you say, and how you process things, and how you react to the world. You know, I mean, like when you came here, the first thing I said is shut that news down. You and your dad were addicted to news.
Oh,
but the news is at the vibration that you and your dad were.
yeah.
So, you know, you have to understand, you didn't watch the news to stay informed. You kept watching the news to validate that life sucks.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Get a dose of fear. Watch the news.
Yeah. And understand something. Fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Now, understand this. You know, people, the one thing they do say to me, and people say a lot, is you're fearless. And the reality is, I didn't become fearless because I'm courageous. You need to get that. I became fearless because I want my life. I want my life back. There's a difference. I'm not going to tell you I'm a courageous person. I'm going to tell you that I'm a person that loves myself enough, and I deserve to have a beautiful life. And there's no place in your life for fear if you want the life that God said you could have. If you want to live your purpose, if you want to have passion, you must eliminate fear. And understand something. Why would you have fear anyways? Because guess what? Everything that is exciting in life is a new challenge. But then you go and you get all caught up, and if you fail at it once, twice, you get upset with yourself. That's called impatience. Understand something. The whole thing about fear is this. I'm not saying I'm fearless and I'm going to jump off an 8-foot building. I mean, 80-foot building. That's not fear. That's just dumb. So people that are fearless don't do stupid things. So don't get that mistaken, okay? And when you understand that the world doesn't care if you're suffering or if you're having a beautiful day. Corporations do, though, because you're going to ruin their business. The government does because you're going to ruin their business, because governments work for corporations. You got to get that. So understand something. Work on your fears. And every time that you feel a fear, ask yourself, is this the same fear that I've had for the last few years? And it hasn't come true yet. You know, you keep on worrying about it. It's just like the mother who says, every time you go to school, I worry about you. I mean, that's the last thing your kids need, you know, that kind of stuff. You know, we have been taught that if we suffer, the more somebody suffers and shows suffering for their family, the more they love them. We are so toxic in our minds, okay? So he or she who suffers the most loves the most. It is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. So understand, everything that we will do at the Doc of Detox and International Training Institute of Health is about training you so that you no longer need me. Understand, unless a practitioner is training you, he's a fraud. Okay? Because doctor means teacher. And if you're not being taught to know what the doctor does for you that you can do for yourself, then you're a cripple. Jason?
All right, next up, we have a beautiful comment from Christine. Love the show with Dr. Marlene. Thank you. Thanks, Christine.
And that was Dr. Marlene Siegel. Once a month, we have our pet show. And Dr. Marlene Siegel is probably the most beautiful, natural veterinarian in North America that I know of. All right?
All right. So next up, Cassandra from Facebook. You guys are amazing. Seriously so fun to listen to as well. I'm so curious about how tearing apart a tumor doesn't make it spread. Any insight on that? I always heard that mammograms are bad because they squish the breast and could actually spread the tumor.
Okay. So understand something. She's asking about the Wolfe Non-Surgical, where we go in and we lovingly use our elbow to pull apart the beef jerky. Let's make something perfectly clear. To even compare a mammogram to Wolfe Non-Surgical is an elephant to an apple. It has nothing to do with either one of them. First thing is, when you do a mammogram and they go and they slam your breast down to flatten it, I'm not being physically abusive. Next thing is, I'm definitely not radiating anybody. Here's what I'm doing. First of all, you got to understand that if you're talking about a fibroid, it doesn't have its own blood supply. If you're talking about a tumor, it has its own blood supply. A tumor has walled itself off and is an alien to the human body. But the tumor comes, and I don't want to get into it in great detail, but you can find every tumor in the human body or every cancer in the human body has a real hate attachment. And there's different types of hates. And there's different types of fears that create it. Just know this, that fear is the most acidic emotion you can have. They actually did a study where they had people, and they would put them in different states, right? Sadness, fear, joy, but they went through the whole of all of them. And fear was the most acidic pH that was created in the human body. So continually have fear, you're going to get a tumor, you're going to get a disease, you're going to have a stroke, you're going to have a heart attack. Depending on the emotion that's driving the fear will depend on where you're going to have the tumor in the body, where or what kind of disease you're going to have in the body. So your personality creates your reality. But back to the tumor. So a cancer tumor has its own blood supply because it's not feeding on oxygen, but it's definitely stealing nutrients. It's blocking the body. It's a physical block. Now, when we work on somebody and they even have a tumor, the first thing we do is we work around it. Because wherever you're going to find where there's a tumor, you're going to have plenty of scar tissue around here because tumors create a lot of lactic acid. That's really acidic. The lactic acid goes out and it starts to kill off the tissue around the area. Why is it killing off the tissue around the area? Because the lactic acid feeds the cancer. That's what the cancer lives on. And it lives on sugar. But the lactic acid that it generates is feeding itself. But the lactic acid is bringing down the vibration of the tissue around the tumor to create scar tissue, because scar tissue doesn't have a lot of oxygen and hardly has any blood flow, does it? Anybody eat any beef jerky lately? So now it's preparing the surrounding areas so that it can grow and continually grow. Doesn't matter what it is in life. Everything, whether it's a weed or a flower, okay, or it's a beautiful organ, everything wants to regrow and renew itself. And the tumor will leave when the environment comes back to harmony and when the environment has its regular blood flow back. I hope you're getting this out there in La La Land. Because let me tell you something. The blood flow, we want the body's natural blood flow to come in and flood the tumor, to come in and give the tumor all kinds of trouble. All right, that would be oxygen. That would be your spirit, your vibration flooding again into the area. Okay, so that's why we're going to go around the area first. Then we're going to work around the tumor and start taking the layers off like an onion. We're going to look for a crack. If you go around a tumor, you're going to find areas where there's more calcium, areas where there's just maybe crystallization. You're going to find around the tumor. What do you think? A tumor is all cancer cells? No. Stage 1, not a lot of cancer cells. Stage 2 more. Stage 3 more. Stage 4. The difference is the stage 4 has more cancer cells now in this because the cancer cells are dividing and they're taking over. So the longer something stays, so we don't want to ignore stuff like this, and we're not going to go in there and just try to pull this whole thing apart. But if it's a fibroid, now, even though doctors say fibroid can mean malignant, okay, or cancerous, right? Malignant or benign. No. In the health field, we call a fibroid. In the medical field, you know what they did? They took the tumor and they put it into the fibroid. So they go, you got a fibroid. Right away, you just freak out, right? But a tumor's not a fibroid in my books. Now, if you get somebody that has a fibroid in the breast, I'll tell you right now, I've had fibroids as big as an orange, and I've reduced the size by 50% in one treatment. We have a lady that came to us. She had a fibroid that was 9 inches. She had big breasts, like they were big. Okay? All right. So she had a fibroid that was 9 inches by 3 inches by 4.5 inches. Now, when she left after 18 days, we had it down to 3/4 of its size, and her sister took it, and she took it down for her. Just keep working on it, keep working on it. And also, you got to understand, the outer edge of the tumor, the outer edge of the fibroid is still, we got the life trying to get into it. So it's softer. So we want to go around and look for the cracks, look how to get in, and gradually keep making it smaller.
I've been doing this for a year. And when you first start and have somebody doing their elbow and deep tissue into you, you really don't know what's going on. But if you stay disciplined and work with over time, you can feel them working around the edges. You can feel when you're breaking through. You can feel it. You just stay with it, and it'll happen.
You got to breathe, and the practitioner needs to breathe with the patient client. And if they breathe together,
don't worry, you'll want to breathe.
Anyways, and the thing is this, is when we first go in somewhere, and I will admit this, that especially the pelvic area, it's like an Arctic icebreaker trying to get in there. Because what people do not understand is the pelvis, okay, the heart is the most damaged organ in the body because we don't know how to master our emotions. Heart, achy, breaky heart, right? Mm-hmm. You broke my heart's in pieces. But the pelvis is in the worst condition of the whole body. It's so crunchy. It's like snap, crackle, pop. It should be a Rice Krispies commercial. And that's why, we have so much problem down in that area. And you know what? Medicine knows that's the Holy Grail. And medicine ignores the large intestine and the pelvis, and they are taught to do it. They don't do it on purpose, okay? But the power behind the scenes teach the doctors to ignore the area, and if they don't ignore it, they go in with antibiotics and attack it. Right or wrong? Next question.
Okay, Dina from Facebook. Sending a huge Christmas hug to you, Dr. Wolfe. Through thick and thin, working and vacation, you come through it all with plenty of energy to motivate your followers. God bless you, your family, and staff at this blessed time of year. Here's to perfect health and hearts full of love.
She forgot Dave and me, though.
Hey, yeah. Okay, come on. Send it to the phone. Okay, next.
All right.
Next.
Okay, we have Lori from Facebook. Can you talk about vertigo?
All right. Well, we did last week already. We did that one last week. But understand something. Everything is about balance in life, isn't it? And most times with vertigo, people don't want to hear this. But, kick in the structured water. Yeah. Okay? And get rid of the acidity, and then you're going to get balance. Okay? Remember, what gets dehydrated first in the body before anything else? Your brain. Your brain. That's why every time you say, wow, I'm getting foggy, I guarantee you have not drank water for hours. Or you just had a Coke, or you just had a Pepsi, because you just put the brain into dehydration. And every time that you're thirsty, it's too late. You've already fried your brain. Oh, I don't know where Alzheimer's comes from. What do you think it comes from? It comes from all the chemical living, from releasing a fight-flight state all the time, from not drinking enough water, from not eating enough fresh and raw. I mean, you can cure every disease and illness if you just embrace nature. I mean, don't get me wrong, technology is great. We couldn't do this show, but technology is toxic. The more electrical stuff we have in this room, the more we're going to get zapped. That's why I wear this. That's why we have a Wi-Fi in our office. That's why we have a protector in our office. You can feel the difference. Look, technology's not going anywhere. So if you don't want to wear protection, you don't want to drink a lot of structured water. Like every woman out there, you need to drink at least 3 quarts a day. You should be drinking 5 quarts of liquid a day. No, but you're not yet.
No, I'm not.
You need 5 quarts.
Yeah.
And you know why you're not? It's only been 5 days.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been programmed to drink water, you're not going to.
Right.
I don't start my day unless I have a quart and a half of water in me. Like, I don't do anything else until that happens. I have a quart and a half with Fulvic and Tummy Love, Ormus minerals in it, sits right beside my bed, jug just like that, okay? And it's a quart and a half, and I drink that. It right there.
Yeah.
Okay? I do my belly button therapy, and I drink a quart and a half of water, okay? And then I start my day. That's it. Start your day, women, with a quart of water. You're going to go, that's ridiculous. I'll tell you what ridiculous is. Ridiculous is doing what everybody else is doing when 92% of the North American population have autoimmune disease. What's the next question there, Jason?
Okay, next up we have John from California. I know that my mom and dad were overweight, which caused a lot of issues with their heart and diabetes.
Okay. So there it is. So understand something. Let's make something really clear here. Okay? First of all, you want to make diabetic children, give them dairy. Okay? Now, I know that wasn't the question, but I need to say this. There's a lot of dairy going on right now, and there's going to be a crap load of it during Christmas. All right? They're going to be pushing it. And understand, there's more children that are getting juvenile diabetes right now, okay, at the age of around 9 to 14 years old right now. And it's because when you're on your mother and you get mother's breast milk, when you come off of it, you stop making the enzyme to digest milk. And cow's milk is 20 times larger, the molecule, than mother's milk. And the protein in it, what happens is a foreign body. And that protein in it, it's kind of similar to the protein that's in the pancreas. So when you drink milk, you eat cheese, you do yogurt, your body sends out an antigen to go and attack the actual dairy, and it mistakes the actual protein in the pancreas and destroys the pancreas. And that's a fact. So now let's get back to this. Diabetes is caused because of flour, sugar, and dairy. There you go. Flour, sugar, and dairy. That's it. And guess what? Your mother and father aren't overweight. They're overinflamed. Okay? The more weight you have, okay, you'll see in my other videos, I started getting just a little chunky around here, a little bit of love handles, right? And I'll tell you right now, that's because of the inflammation. I really had to pull my bootstraps in. So I dropped, I don't know, probably around 9, 12 pounds. Okay, so I went and did a fast for 12 days, 12-day fast. And the reality is I brought my inflammation down, and that's how you get rid of fat. You don't get, okay, first of all, you don't get rid of fat from working out. You build muscle from working out. So if you are overweight and you have fat, you want to fast. And if you fast and get rid of the fat, then you work out, then you're going to see muscle. Then you're going to have that really nice muscular body. So first we fast. Now understand, your parents are always going to be overweight. Guess why? Because they think that a diet helps you lose weight. It doesn't. It helps you lose water. You can't lose weight unless you lose inflammation in the body. So that means that you have to do things that are going to get rid of the disease, because the disease is the barometer showing that you've blown yourself out with your inflammatory lifestyle, whether it's been emotional or whether it's nutrition or whether it's physical. So that's the deal.
I did a 9-day fast. Started off with 3, then I bumped it up to 9. I mean, I had no idea. I dropped 20 pounds. Went from 192 to 170. Actually, I went below that. I'm 172 right now. And I have more energy now than ever. This fasting thing, I don't understand all of it. I mean, I can't keep up with Darrell, but I just know what he's telling me is working.
Understand, fasting brings you into a higher consciousness. And fasting, it releases stem cells. And when you do anything 6 days or more, you've just released tens of thousands of dollars of stem cell therapy, right? A person that does like a 12-day fast, they've released enough stem cells to spend $100,000. That's what,
wow.
That's what is believed, okay? I'm not going to put it right down to that, okay? But you also create what we call autophagy when you're fasting. Anytime, once you hit 3 days, you're in there eating up cancer cells. You're in there eating up dead cells. you're in there renewing your whole digestive tract. 6 days will renew the digestive tract lining. 6 days, and that's you using like structured water, Ormus minerals, fulvic acid, ATP, doing the ultimate coffee enema. Guys, stick it up your bum. That's where the coffee belongs. And but guys have a big deal with that because we're homophobic. But the reality is we need to flush that liver out that's been working hard for you for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years.
Darrell, talk briefly about intermittent fasting and ketones.
And ketosis? Yeah, well, the first thing is to make it really easy for people, what we're trying to do is we're trying to go long enough without food that we use up the glycogen stores in our body. Once you use up the glycogen stores in your body, then it's going to go after the fat and break it down to use that as energy. That's the simple thing of it, right? So if you can't get into ketosis if you're not going to go long enough without food or long enough without carbs. It's really carbs that do it. You know, carbs really mess it up because carbs increase your glycogen stores, right? Glucose. Whereas protein isn't creating those that glycogen storage. So that's why we want to go to more protein and veggies, right? That's the key. So protein and veggie diet. Now, a lot of people out there will do that, and they'll go to do it, and they'll do like they'll use animal products. Well, I don't believe you need animal products in your diet to be well. That's I believe you're going to only get sicker. A lot of people, we're just conditioned to eat animal products, and eventually, if the world doesn't blow itself up, there will have to be a thing where we have to stop eating animal products because it's destroying the planet. So even if you believe that animal products are your God-given right to eat, you're going to find out that we're going to have to stop eating them. And we're going to have to leave the animals alone because it's creating a lot which is destroying the planet. But you know what? How much pain and suffering do we have to create? Because most people eat factory farm animals, and that's what's destroying the planet. Factory farm animals. I mean, come on. Our ancestors would maybe eat a chicken once or twice a year. They'd eat the eggs. They couldn't eat the chicken. Nobody could afford it. Factory farming, you know, people are eating a chicken every day. You can't spill blood like that and not have it come back on you. You can't take that much life. And when's the last time that you went and ate an animal product and you prayed over it and said, thank you for giving your life to me? And that is where we're going to get it right up the butt. All right, next question.
Okay, Rebecca from Michigan. What can my daughter do and take to reverse what the dentist says? There's an infection in her front tooth and they want to do a root canal. I do not want her to have one done. Quickest way to reverse this, please.
That's a problem because, you know, she's either going to have to wear some kind of plate to have the tooth, which is a pain in the butt, or she's going to have to put a post in, right? I would never do a root canal, though. Never a root canal. I just want everybody to know there that breast cancer, 50% of all women with breast cancer, all you have to say is, what breast is it? It's my right. The root canal's on your right side. How did you know? 50% of all women that you ask will have a root canal on that side of the body where the breast cancer is. So understand, it's not just that. Heart disease, and you've got the infection. There's no such thing as a root canal that's not infected. So, you know, if I had that, I would get a post put in and a fake tooth, and I would make sure to get it as non-toxic as possible. And understand something. That's not going to be the end of you. What is the end of you is the accumulation of how you walk through your day. What did you do today? How many loving things did you do today? You know, what does your day look like? Do you have a smile on your face? Do you let yourself off the hook about things? Do you, when somebody says, oh my God, did you hear about Aunt Sally? She has cancer. Did you fall down on the floor and cry? Or did you say, wow, what is she doing? Is there anything we can do for her? And then, nope, she's just going to go to the doctor. Well, we should go visit her and give her our love, or send her our love right now. And then mind your own business. Mind your own business. But what people believe is the more tragic the suffering is, the more you got to get into it. You know, when I first started getting into this honor, respect, and loving yourself, my children, my wife, my family, they all turned against me. They called me Jesus. They called me Buddha. They called me names for at least 9 months to a year, maybe longer. You know, and then now the whole story's changed. But understand something. As soon as you start loving yourself, you got to understand something. It looks really selfish. And look at everybody else in the world that believes that everybody else is supposed to fill up their heart. Everybody else is supposed to make them well. How's that working? How's hell been so far? You know, that's the reality of it. So until you are going to become mindful that you got to fill your own heart, you've got to take personal power back. You've got to take action. And you know what? All the systems out there are telling you that if you love yourself and fill your own heart and you heal yourself, that is just totally selfish. I mean, even religion teaches you to suffer. You know what? Suffering is the way of the Lord. Are you like out of your skull? Next question.
Okay. We have
Yeah.
Doreen from Facebook. What are you giving away New Year's Eve about the Masterclass?
Oh, New Year's Eve, midnight New Year's Eve. We are giving away 1,000 lifetime memberships to the A to Z Wellness Masterclass. And you'll see it on Facebook. You'll see it on our front page of our website on Doc of Detox. You'll see it on ITRH. It'll be everywhere for you to sign up. Okay? So, Bill, you got any comments? Any thoughts?
Yeah.
I saw some brewing.
Well, one was, I think the second commandment is love the neighbor as thyself.
Don't do that. No, don't do that.
You got to love yourself before you can love your neighbor.
Yeah, but I don't want my neighbors to love me like they've been loving themselves. I know my neighbors. That's not going to work out well for me.
Well, it's worked out well for me because it was a life changer. I said, well, I can't love somebody else unless I start to love myself.
That's right. It's got to start there, and that's all I meant.
Okay.
And that's the whole deal, because guess what? You know what that's all about? We're family. We all came from the same place. We're going to return to the same place. And it doesn't matter. Another man's beliefs should not cause you to judge them.
All right.
Just love them. You know what? I might not like everybody's beliefs, but I'm going to love everyone. You know what? Because that person wants to be loved too. Mm-hmm. I've pretty well done everything. I smoked, I drank. I don't want to get into it all. I've got a laundry list, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. You don't have to like them, but you can love them.
Yeah, you got to love them. You got to love them.
Yeah.
You know what? It's like this. Okay, when you came here, did you realize that your beliefs were running you, or did you just think that was your personality and that's who I am?
I actually thought it was my personality and who I'd become, or who I innately was.
Yeah,
and
I know, but you believed what people actually believe until they come here is that this is who I am.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. This is who I am. This is all I've been. So this is all I'm going to be.
Yeah. For me, it's, if I can say something, but just, because I'm...
You can say anything.
If I'm relatively new to Doc of Detox and the whole concept. And the one thing that keeps running over in my mind is how complete this is. You might come in with what you think is one ailment, which, I thought mine were just a couple. I didn't think there were as many as they were. And it's so complete. And
you think you found a few this week? 6 months, 9 months from now, you won't believe where you are.
I can imagine. I mean, because every day I seem to learn something new about myself or about something about my sort of environment. And things I may have known in the past but didn't sort of identify and recognize and run with, or that I just thought sort of were there. But I guess the thing is just coming here has been the single best thing I have done for myself As I say, I've tried so many different doctors and treatments. I've been to California, I've been to Florida, I've been to Oklahoma, I've been to New York for treatments. I've been all over. And this is the one thing I'm so happy I'm here with, because it's not just healing me mentally, but it's healing me physically. It's showing me a new way of life, and it's also showing me how to eat properly, which I thought I did, but I guess I didn't.
Well, you ate like the majority of the population, so
Yeah,
yeah.
I did. And
And I understand.
yeah,
You know, majority rules, right?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So how do we get the protective pendant you're wearing? You just go to EMF/light, and you'll find the pendants there. And we have blue ones. We now have blue ones too. You'll see them up there. And royal blue. We have the purple color like this, and we have the pink color, and we have the
purple.
turquoise, kind of greeny blue color.
Yep.
And then we have the protectors in 2 colors as well. You'll see all that up there.
What I like about this, though, is instead of saying stop the world, we're not going to stop 5G, but we can protect ourselves with a simple little pendant.
Yeah.
It costs very little money.
And it does protect you from more than just EMFs, does it not?
Okay, the thing is a lot of people may be watching, they don't understand radionics, but they should go and watch the Peter Webb show about crystals, and the other one called Revitalize the Farm. And he is a world leader in radionics, and radionics is actually a science. And what people don't get is, guess what? You want to know something? This morning, he just reprogrammed your pendants for you.
Oh.
Okay, so if something happens in the world that he believes there's a vibration or there's something going on, he will. These will be programmed continually, and changed. So there's frequencies in here for nutritionals. There's frequencies in here to create calm and peace and harmony in the body. There's frequencies in here that will actually create a protective block 5 feet up, 5 feet down, and 5 feet out all around you. Okay, and you can feel it when you're wearing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's subtle, but that's the way life should be, subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So next question there, Jason. Thank you.
All right. Colette from
Anyways, I
Facebook.
want to say something.
Wait, hold on.
I feel very fortunate. I don't feel like I have to know everything. I just find good people that know what they're doing, and I just listen to them. And there's no way that I can keep up with Darrell. In fact, I don't think there's any way anyone can keep up with Darrell. But I do know that what he's talking about, he knows what he's doing, and he's coming up with better systems, better tools, healthy tools for us. Thank you.
And you know what? I want everybody to know it, and it's not because it's Christmas, but I love everyone, even those people who don't love me, those people that don't care, or they act like they don't. You know what? It's not going to fix the world. What's going to fix the world is, like we were talking, right? When you get up in the morning, you say, what am I going to gift the world with today?
Yeah.
Right? It's not what I'm going to get. It's what I'm going to gift the world. And everybody out there, find your passion, find your purpose, and go gift the world. And if we do that, then there's nothing more powerful than that. And actually, you can believe it or not believe it, but I'm not going anywhere. And I put myself out there all the time on the line. So you're going to know if I'm full of BS, dysfunctional belief systems, I'm just making this up, or I truly care and I truly want to make a difference. And you know what? I have to tell everyone, and it's a good time of year to do it, but I always will have the best intentions. And if it doesn't look like that, then maybe put me back on track, right? We fall off track sometimes.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I love doing this. That's all. Just like you. Look at what you're up to. Look what you're up to.
I know, it's great.
You're doing
But
amazing.
He calls it gift to the world. For me, I look at it as God put us all on this earth to serve. And some have bigger visions. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. We're here to serve.
That's it. We are here to serve because we're family. See, you got to keep coming back to that. Got to keep coming back to that. Maybe if we really believe that, we'd stop terrorizing other countries and other people and other religions. And anyways,
Darrell, I wanted to say something about the idea of sending love out to people you're in conflict with or dislike. I started going through my affirmations and my deep breathing the first day I was here. And in the first 2 days, I was just going through the motion of just saying the words. But the more I repeated it, the more it started to gel and make sense to me. And by the third day, I found out how important it is actually to love and send sort of, the sort of best wishes, I guess, to the people you're in conflict with. Because it did take away the anxiety, the dread, everything that I had sort of put out there towards them. It took that away from me. And I was able to look at them and think about them and deal with that in such a much better way. And
you let yourself off the meat hook.
Oh, it did. It really did. It also stops me from judging myself for judging others. And it takes away the self-blame and the guilt you might feel for all of that stuff. And for me, that was a big, big thing to do. And I think this week, that's one of the things that stands out in my mind, is that had I not learned that and committed to it, and as again, I think as Bill said, stay with be disciplined and stay with it, because it's the repetition that will change the course of your mind. It's like going to the gym and working out. If you don't go to the gym and you don't work out, you're going to look like a blob. You're going to be unfit and you're going to be unhealthy. But you do it, and you feel great. And the reward is so much better than sometimes the process, but I will say that the reward is worth it.
What do you think, Bill?
I had an epiphany this year, which is that in all things be grateful. Because when things go against you, there's adversity, but through perseverance and persistence, if you just are grateful for whatever's happened, usually, I can't say 100% of the times, but usually something good evolves, and it's usually not anything you expected.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it right there.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Poppy Lindsay from Facebook asks, how does the clapping work? Okay. All right. I'll tell you this much right now. As time, we'll bring this out a teeny bit at a time, everyone. And, I tend not to want to talk about it, but I will talk about it. And I really love it for myself. It's hard not to share things, but the world's a funny place, and it doesn't understand things. So understand something. Let me try to explain this to you. We're not going to get all the questions done today, but I think that you're getting a lot of answers. Just know that, okay? And we'll save these questions for after Christmas, because we're not going to do we're having a show next Friday. So if we don't get done today, we'll do next Friday, because it's going to be quiet this week. So any questions we don't get done, we'll do next Friday. But here's the deal. Did you ever notice people that bruise a lot, especially older people? They'll go, oh my God, how did I get that bruise? How did I get that bruise? I didn't even hit that. I just didn't get that. How did I get that bruise? Well, that's because they're rotting. Okay? So they're rotten inside, emotionally and physically. You can't have one without the other. I want you to try something, and then I want you to give me a call or give me a text. We can talk about it next Friday. Text Facebook, Instagram, or text me live. So here's the deal. Here's your heart. Here's your heart. You start like this, and then you can go harder. Now, some people are going to go, well, that stings. After a couple of minutes, it doesn't sting that much, and keep your hand more flexible. You'll see this is starting to get red. When I first used to do it, I used to look like a lot of blood and a little bit of bruising here. You know what? The last time I did this area and this area, I had one little spot of red. That was it. Now, people that have had broken hearts and they have chronic illness, they'll go black and blue right here. I mean, it'll just be black and blue. And you'll actually see even some blood come out. And you don't worry about it. Trust me. Do you know how far this goes back, this therapy? It goes back tens of thousands of years. All right? And whether it's your knee, whether it's your ankle, like Bill was saying to me that, like, you know what? I'm getting older, like we all are. We get older. And he was saying that, I want to protect my prostate. He said, what should I do? And I said, well, Bill, take your clothes off and do the inner groin. Now, if you had prostate problems, uterus problem, bladder problems, you couldn't get it up anymore, okay? You had vaginitis. Can I keep going? I mean, whatever the case may be. And you'll do the inner thighs, and you'll do that for, believe it or not, you're going to go, what? And you're going to clap as hard as you can. And after 3 or 4 minutes, it's not going to be hurting. It's going to have this sensation to it. It's releasing stem cells. And when you see any bruising, that's the actually disease coming to the surface. That's the emotional, physical poison coming to the surface. So then I said, do the inner groin, and then do just here on the pubic bone area, and then try to do that for about a half an hour. And so that's an hour therapy down there. And he said, well, how long should I do it? And what did I tell you, Bill?
30, 40 minutes.
Yeah, on the inner groin and right here on the prostate area and just around the pubic bone. Okay, and you're going to do that with both hands. But the reality is you're going to do it until, if you had a prostate problem, it's gone. Bladder problem, gone. Ovarian problem, gone. Even if you've got a cancer down there, gone. So I have women that have breast issues, and they'll just start nicely. You know what I mean? Did you ever soothe your child? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And then okay. And it doesn't matter if you could have a lung problem, an ear problem. Start playing with this because they don't want you to. Don't you dare touch yourself. Don't you dare help your family out. You just make an appointment and go have a treatment, and you just need to be thinking about till the next treatment or the next test, am I going to be okay? Or are you going to take massive personal action and start clapping your knee? Like even if you had a knee problem and you were to do this, you did that for half an hour and you did that every day, it would get rid of it.
So see, here's the beauty of the Doc of Detox. I have been doing this for a little over a year now, working with Dean Salio at Salio Wellness. And Laurie, last night after they picked me up at the airport, I was talking about the prostate, and then she said, are you clapping? I said, no, I've never heard of that. I mean, you're always learning something new from Darrell and the Doc of Detox.
Yeah.
Anyways, when people come here, because you'll be getting a 2-hour session, and we'll be going over the whole body on how to do it, and we'll be videoing it, and you'll take it home. We are not going to be videoing it. We're not going to be doing sessions on Facebook. I answered your question. That's as far as I go. Because this is the kind of thing that, you know what, it's for people who really want it. You know, it's for people who want to take it all back, and they know that there's a secret, and they know they don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars, and I got this. I mean, you're so crippled. I'm so crippled. We're all so crippled by that out there. Next question.
All right. Colette from Facebook. Can you use the silver bullet spray in your nose? I have acute sinusitis and chronic bronchitis. What would you recommend?
Well, yeah, you can use the silver bullet. You can use the Fulvic. Get yourself a spray pump and do that. And also put it in your ears and also put it in your eyes. Why? Because this cave, if you were small enough, you could walk to the back of your eyes. And if you're small enough, you could then walk through and come out your sinuses. They're all connected. It's just one big cave in there. Okay, lots of tunnels. So I would do that, and I would take a look at also if you've got sinusitis, or you have I love this one. I got to go for a surgery. It got a deviated septum. It usually takes me 5 minutes and it's over. Why? It's not a deviated septum. It's scar tissue from constant inflammation that looks like it's a deviated septum. I'm not kidding you. Everything's about do the surgery. That's where the money's at. Okay, so what are you going to do? Is that going to keep the big corporations going? If I come along and I go in there and I loosen up and pull the scar tissue apart, and it took me about 5 to 7 minutes, or the surgery. Okay, because if you do the surgery, you got to take the drugs. And if you do the surgery, you got to take the antibiotics and the inflammatories. Look at how much more money we can make happen. The whole thing's dysfunctional. Do whatever you want. It's your life. It's your body. Now, and then you've got to get rid of any inflammatory foods, like especially dairy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And then you got to make sure there's no mold in the house. Maybe you lived in the same house and there's mold in your house and you don't even know it. You got used to it. Got to watch out for that too. That's going to cause sinus problems. All right. But what I would do is get a nebulizer, and I would nebulize the silver and the fulvic and breathe in through the nose. That's the best way to do it. And then if you can go see one of our Wolfe Non-Surgical therapists, they're going to go in here and they're just going to clean up that whole area for you. So that's that. Somebody on here was asking about a really chronic condition of emphysema. So that's a really bad breathing problem. What's happening is the person is actually, the mucus is becoming like the same snot ball that comes out of your nose. Okay, that's in their lungs, and it's filling up the alveoli. So we know there's inflammation and irritation in there. But you'll never have a lung problem unless you had a bowel problem forever. So we got to get the bowels moving. We got to get the liver clean. So let's get them on the daily cleansing tea, get them on the fulvic acid and lots of structured water. Let's get them doing coffee enemas. And the other thing is, if we can get that person to go to somebody and we could do Wolfe Non-Surgical and go in here and open up all the scar tissue around their heart and in between their ribs. Think they breathe better? Okay, give me that person with emphysema and give me 25 minutes and I will increase her lung capacity no less than 30% and maybe up to 60. That's that. So that's the reality. And understand something. If I lay down anybody, pretty well anybody around the world, you'll find out that their left side is going to be higher than their right. Mm-hmm. Look at this. It's still higher.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, it is.
And you'll find the left side is higher than the right, even though you're right. Most people are right-handed. And that's how many times your heart's been broken because you thought that they were responsible for filling up your heart. So understand, men will get scar tissue and calcification around here. You do know that 95% of everybody that gets rushed to the hospital doesn't have a heart attack. They actually have an emotional attack, okay? Or they have a fart attack where the gas from the abdomen is pushing up on the heart and they have angina. So let's get that. I'm just saying that involves the breathing as well. But if you have a problem breathing, understand that person has lived in fear for a long time. Because when you're breathing shallow, you're hiding in the bushes from the tiger. But understand, emotional is attached to physical, physical is attached to emotional, and emotional makes you make the decisions the things you eat to create the problem as well. So we got to make sure that we get them on a whole plant-based, non-inflammatory diet. Get them on curcumin cayenne. Get them doing nebulizing again. Clean out their bowels. Clean out their liver, and right off the bat, she's going to be breathing better. And so let's put it, if you can bring up the vibration, the healing vibration, either the body is filling up with guck or it's cleaning it out. And the only way it's going to be different is if you change your personality. That's the only way you change your reality. So it must be the things you do throughout the day. Okay, next question.
All right, we have Poppy from England. What do you think about the copper coil for contraception? It has given me heavier, longer periods.
Okay, first of all, that's a foreign object, and your body's in there trying to attack it, and it's creating inflammation, which is causing stagnation, which is causing putrefaction, which is causing blood clotting, and it's a bad, bad mistake. Okay? So here's the deal. The devices industry, okay, that make devices, whether it's a copper coil, mesh for a hernia, hip replacement, implant for your breast, all of this. They want us all to buy into this. Everybody, if they could get some kind of device in all of us, that's what they want. And the device industry is more powerful than the pharmaceutical industry. But the pharmaceutical industry works with the device industry because when you have pain and inflammation and you go for a drug, an anti-inflammatory to kill the pain, it cuts it off from the brain, but you still have the inflammation, you still have the acidity, you still have the degradation of the tissue. So what happens is the pharmaceuticals will get you ready for the device industry, where then you're going to have to get either a knee replacement, hip replacement, or a stent put in your heart. And that's the biggest one. they are putting. Well, anyways, I'm doing an article, and I'm doing a video, and it will be added into the A to Z Wellness Masterclass, and at the end of January, I'm going to be adding a 2-hour video to show you how to avoid getting devices and why everybody's opting for getting a knee replacement instead of, we have a money back guarantee that you're not going to surgery for knee replacement, hip replacement, or any other surgery. And if we're wrong, we'll replace your money because you gave up on your body a long time ago. Next question.
All right, we have Lori from Facebook. I got my pendant and egg. I ride the bus, which has Wi-Fi and cell phones. A steel box just like a plane, except in a plane, the toxins go into the plane. Will I be protected with my pendant from these phones? Do I need a cell phone guard?
Well, let's put it this way. I'd always have a cell phone guard on my cell phone. And I will always have this, but I also have a protector in my bedroom. And I have a Wi-Fi. And 5G is a weapon of war. And all your electrical in your house wasn't wired properly. Okay, and it was wired with the wrong current. And everything here, they could have built everything here that could have had a healing energy coming off of it. So everything that we build for convenience, that's technology, has the wrong current in it and the wrong vibration. Yeah, you wonder who's driving this ship, eh? Anyways, I would protect myself. Anything you want to say, Bill? Or anything you want to say?
No, not
good. All right. So
I just listen and do.
There. All right. Next.
All right, next up we have John from California. I know I'm not healthy. I have not been for quite some time and not sure if I have ever really been healthy or just younger that I did not notice how unhealthy I really was.
Well, first of all, you're never going to notice how unhealthy you are because you're hanging around with other people that are unhealthy. So understand this, that every 3 to 5 years, the medical system is now lowering the standards of what health is. Today, 92% of the population has autoimmune disease. So today, what is health? I'll tell you what health is. I'm not in the hospital and I'm not dead. Everything else is on the table. Next.
Okay, Nathaniel from Whitehorse. When is your next certification course?
Next certification course is in June, and it's here in Kelowna. It's limited to only 12 people as far as the non-surgical and the deep tissue goes. As far as the whole life coach certification, it's 14. And then after that's not June, April here. April in Kelowna, and June in Palm Springs, California. It'll be in June, and we will have about 22 people there. So yeah, and we're already half filled for Kelowna. And then the next one after that will be in Orlando in September. There it is. And then in November, I will be doing an advanced 12-day, what we call advanced training, whole life coach training, okay, in Ixtapa, Mexico at the Ixtapa Palace. All right, next.
All right, we have Maurice from New York. Can you explain what the personal treatment and training is?
Personal treatment and training, what is it? You tell them what it is.
Well, it consists, I think, of three things. It consists of learning about your nutrition, what to eat, how to mix your foods, how it affects you. The deep tissue massage is also an integral part of healing any physical ailments on your body.
How's the coffee enema going?
Oh, it's going. It's amazing.
It's going.
Yeah, and doing it religiously, actually.
Yeah.
That's the thing. This has to be kept up, but yeah, it's going well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If everybody, you should go back to the first day he came and look at his color.
Oh. I was white and ashen when I first got here. I recognize that. Now I have color. It's like I've been down south. It's great. It's great.
I asked Darrell where everybody should start because I've got people that are asking me now. And it's pretty simple. You just start with the perfect day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start going through the library, and then you've got nobody hounding you to buy product or tell you what to do, or you know what? It's passive enough. You can go in there and get out of there without anybody coming after you, you know? And understand something. As far as the personal treatment and training goes, they came here and they stay in the condo. How's the condo?
Condo's beautiful. It is everything you need. If juicers, if you need a vacuum, there's a vacuum. I mean, there's just everything. And it's very comfortable, and it's very close to where you get your treatments. It's 25 feet away. It's perfect.
And the view?
The view's magic. We don't have that kind of view where I'm come from, but it's beautiful mountains. It's just a beautiful setting. It's very serene.
And lots of energy medicine in there, right?
Yes.
Shoot, all I see is a lot of snow.
What?
I said, shoot, all I see right now is a lot of snow.
So anyways, you can come here or we'll come to you. Just like Sage right now is taken off, and he's going to be gone for over a month. He's actually going to do 2 clinical certifications, and then he's also doing actually going to help a doctor down with his mother. She's got scoliosis. It's either Sage or surgery. So they pick Sage. All right, so he's going to go down there, and he's going to show the doctor and his sister how to unravel their 80-year-old mother's spine. Okay? All right, next question.
Okay, we have Kimberly from Facebook. I ordered my belly button stick yesterday, getting my life back. Thanks, Doc, for sharing your passion and knowledge of wellness with all of us.
And isn't that funny? A little belly button, our belly button kit. You know, all it is just a belly button kit. And when you go in there, because the most important button you'll ever push is your belly button, okay? And it releases the vagus nerve, puts you into a parasympathetic state. 5 minutes of doing the belly button therapy. Check it out on the website, and you will release 70% of your serotonin, 50% of your dopamine, and you'll add 25% more stretch to your body, and you did it in 5 minutes. And you put yourself into a peaceful state. And it's all about repetition and doing this and continually going back to harmony, going back to balance until you can get there on your own in the snap. That's the key. Next question.
Okay, we have Barry from Thailand.
Whoa.
Wow. Well, want to go ahead, Bill?
No, I just Thailand.
Okay. What a great video of great health content, and the content is making me look at myself more.
Oh, yeah, that was about, if you go and take a look at how's your plumbing. So I put up 4 videos on Facebook. They'll be up on YouTube too. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's all about your plumbing. So, you know, and what I wanted to really get everybody to understand something was actually it was the plumber that saved the world, not the medical system. All right, next.
All right, we have Joanna from Facebook. You're an amazing guy. I love all this information, education. God bless you, Dr. Wolfe.
Thank you, Joanna, and God bless you and happy holidays.
All right.
And God bless Dave and Bill.
That's right. What about Dave and Bill? Hey, somebody better do this Dave and Bill thing. I'm going to be in trouble. You know what? I'm stuck in the middle of the two of them.
We're feeling a little left out.
That's right. All right, next.
That is everything on my side.
Really? We
Yep,
did it.
That's everything.
All right. So, anyways, this will be the last time we come on live. We have, oh boy, the Holy Grail of Healing again tomorrow. It's Saturday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you can't watch it, check it out on YouTube. And it's 2 hours and 40 minutes. I know you're going to love it. If you want to know how to look after the Holy Grail, the pelvis and the abdomen, it's going to go through it with you. And then on Monday at 3 o'clock, we're going to show you a preview of the A to Z Wellness Masterclass. And check it out. And then if you want to join the Masterclass, the first 1,000 are free. Midnight New Year's Eve. And just know that this show right now is time-stamped. And you can go to YouTube and you can find your question there or the question that you wanted answered, and you'll be able to get on there. Now, if I didn't answer something thoroughly, you can retype in on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube and say, could you please take the time to go in more detail? If you give me detail and say, my mother, she's 80. My mother has emphysema. My mother is only 89 pounds. My mother has had 4 surgeries. This is what is going on with my mother. The more information you get, the more I'm going to spend more time on that. Okay? You got to understand something. This is about you. You ask the question, and if my answer takes 15 minutes, that's what you get. 20 minutes, that's what you get. People that ask questions deserve answers, okay? And remember something, all your questions matter because you matter. So, what would you like to tell them, Bill?
Have a great day.
Good.
Oh, wait a second.
Well,
have the best day of the rest of your life. That's what it is.
That's right.
I'd just say if you're thinking about going somewhere else, or you're contemplating what to do or how to do it, this is the place to be.
Thank you. And listen, everybody, don't contemplate going anywhere. Just stay right in here.
Yeah.
Connect to your breath. Put a slight smile on your face, okay? And know that that created the universe is actually working for you. And then we need to come and work together for each other and make this world a better place. Happy holidays and God bless. If you're looking for life-saving and life-changing information, well, you've come to the right place. Don't forget to click and subscribe. Stay connected.